Fun Size is probably one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen, to the point where I'm surprised that it even exists. It stars Victoria Justice as a girl named Ren, who loses track of her little brother on Halloween, and then spends the rest of the movie trying to find him. Fun Size was released in October of 2012 by Nickelodeon Movies and Paramount Pictures, and it was only the second PG-13 movie ever released by Nickelodeon, after that weird British movie Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. And it's honestly very weird seeing Victoria Justice star in a movie that tries to be raunchy, especially because this came out during the same time that season 4 of Victorious was airing on Nickelodeon. Like, to me, she was 100% Tori Vega, and now all of a sudden in this movie, a random little kid is calling her a bitch, and they're getting humped by a giant chicken, and her one girlfriend is telling her random guy friend that he's allowed to touch her boobs? What? And honestly, it's not just weird because it's Victoria Justice. It's weird because it has the same vibes as your annoying 13-year-old little cousin, trying his hardest to be edgy when he just learned his first curse word. It's still Nickelodeon, and it's not R-rated, so it can't fully commit to making all the inappropriate jokes it so badly wants to make, but it still tries constantly to be as dirty as possible within those limits, which just gives it a really cringy, try-hard, fake edgy kind of vibe. Like, it's painfully obvious that the main target audience for this movie was meant to be young middle school aged kids who would feel like they're being really grown up and naughty by watching a film with the word bitch and ass in it. And I really thought for some reason that this movie aired on Nickelodeon back in the day, but no, it actually had a legitimate theatrical release. And just to be real with you, I cannot imagine spending money to see this shitty ass film in theaters on a 100-foot screen. Brother, you take a family of 4, 2 kids, 2 adults, motherfucker, if I pay that much money and I see this shit, I'ma be livid. And it turns out people agreed with me and didn't want to spend their money on that movie because it was a major box office flop, grossing only $11.4 million worldwide against a $14 million budget, which doesn't even account for marketing. Ouch. But flop or no flop, it's a Halloween movie starring my girl Tori Vega, so in honor of Spooky Month, today we're gonna take a look back at Fun Size and see what exactly makes it so bizarre and, well, terrible. As always, if you guys like this one, be sure to throw us a like and maybe even subscribe. I might just go trick-or-treating wearing nothing but a jack-o'-lantern around my junk, if you do. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at AgroWasHere for even more of that sweet, juicy, nostalgic content. And if you have any other movies or shows you want me to review, let me know in the comments. Alright, let's dive in. So we start off with the mom character telling Ren that she has to watch her little brother Albert tonight and take him trick-or-treating because she wants to go party with her 26-year-old boyfriend Kevin, which is pretty trash of the mom. I mean, come on, you're gonna pawn the younger kid off to the older kid with no warning on Halloween night? Bitch. It's also mentioned that the dad of the family passed away recently, which kind of makes mom's behavior double shitty. The kids go to find costumes, even though I think Halloween is tonight. What? The shelves shouldn't be full. There should be barely anything left. Whatever. Ren's also pissed about having to babysit because she was supposed to go to this party that the hottest guy in school invited her to. How tragic. So Ren and her friend and her little brother go out trick-or-treating and then to a haunted house, where, of course, little Albert wanders off and gets lost. Ren ends up meeting up with her nerdy buddies, which, by the way, all of their names sound like complete movie character names. In this friend group, we've got Ren, April, Pang, and Roosevelt. Excuse me, if my friends had those names, I would seriously reevaluate my friend group simply for the names alone. And genuinely, I think Ren is a pretty stupid sounding name. Sorry to anyone named Ren out there, but I actually looked it up because I was curious, and turns out that name did enter the top 1,000 baby names in America for girls in 2013. Less than 1 year after this film came out. Maybe this movie had a little more pull than I thought. There are some recognizable faces in this movie too, besides just Victoria Justice. Her friend April is played by Jane Levy, who I recognized as Mandy from Shameless, before they replaced her with a different actress who looked nothing like her. The fuck was that about? I also recognized the boy playing Albert. His name is Jackson Nicole, and just 1 year after this movie, he goes on to play the little kid in Bad Grandpa. He's also 21 years old now, which makes me feel ancient. Fuck. And it is completely possible that Bad Grandpa only exists because of the movie Fun Size. Because Johnny Knoxville also appears in this movie, uncredited for some reason, playing basically the main bad guy who ends up kidnapping the little brother and holding him hostage. Played for laughs, of course. It's just a little bit of kidnapping and child endangerment. Haha. Johnny Knoxville is actually a decently big part in this movie, so I honestly don't know why he's uncredited. Does that mean they didn't fucking pay him? What? But part of me wonders if Johnny Knoxville met this little kid on set and loved him and decided right there that he was gonna be the perfect partner for Bad Grandpa, which I guess would sort of make sense, since they have a few big scenes together in Fun Size. And if that's actually the case, then it kinda justifies Fun Size existing, because Bad Grandpa is a way more funny and culturally impactful movie than Fun Size. So yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. Good for Albert, good for the little boy, good job. But that leads me to yet another thing that's kind of bizarre about this movie. The little brother character doesn't speak, like, at all. He's basically mute. Well, up until the last minute of the fucking film. Sorry, spoiler alert, I guess. And since the kid goes on to star in Bad Grandpa, we know he's a funny and capable little actor who definitely could have handled some lines. Like, yeah, I get it. The kid doesn't want to speak because his dad died and he's traumatized. I get it. But it's a weird choice to take a talented young actor and not utilize him vocally. That's all I'm saying. You know what? No, that's not all I'm saying. Honestly, it's a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. Like, they could have given the kid some funny one-liners or even had him say some raunchy stuff since they wanted to be edgy so bad. I mean, that might have been kind of funny to hear. Something a little less PG coming from a tiny kid's mouth. But instead, he just wanders around in his Spider-Man costume silently, gesturing at things when he has to communicate. I just genuinely don't understand why they made this choice for this character when they casted an actor who could actually act. So with the little brother missing, the group heads over to a convenience store. And they, of course, just miss Albert, who actually made friends with the employee and went off with him. And him befriending the employee is meant to just be silly and harmless, of course. But in real life, I'd be calling up Chris Hansen on speed dial for that one. The one kid, Roosevelt, asks his eccentric lesbian moms to borrow the car. And then the group of friends head over to the local fast food place, where again, they just miss seeing Albert. And they almost fucking run him over with the car, by the way. Dead child on their hands if that went a little differently. It's not good. Roosevelt accidentally destroys the giant mechanical chicken statue on top of the restaurant and severely damages the car, coming within inches of death, which leads to one of the most aggressively PG-13 sequences in the entire film.
Let me go and I'll let you touch my boob for 10 seconds.
20 and I can pick a cold day.
Roosevelt, I'm so sorry.
Meanwhile, Albert ends up with some hot chick at a Halloween party. He gets robbed of his candy by a bad guy, who's played by Johnny Knoxville, and realizes that it's the same douche his convenience store friend told him about earlier. So he sneaks off into the guy's car, I guess to follow him home and get revenge, but he better be careful. Also, Johnny Knoxville assaulting this little child is funny as hell. So when the chicken falls on top of the car and starts humping it aggressively, Ren's best friend ditches the group. Ren should honestly call her a fake ass bitch and move on. There's a missing 8-year-old on the streets. There's more important things. Come on now, sister. And by the way, Roosevelt has a crush on Ren. Of course he does. So that's even more complications with the hottest guy in school hitting on Ren. What a fiasco we've gotten into here. So Ren's friend calls her from Aaron Riley's party and completely implies that her little brother is there. So Ren shows up and is mildly annoyed when she doesn't find her brother. But she should be fucking livid and honestly freaking out. It's been hours now. It is dark out, and her little 8-year-old brother is nowhere to be found. And they have a throwaway line about Ren trying to call the police, but the police just refusing to help her. What the fuck? I feel like the cops would react to a young missing child pretty quickly. I mean, come on. The kid could be in some creep's basement chained up by now, or tied up in the back of a van that's hightailing it to Mexico, and nobody seems to really give a fuck. I mean, once Ren gets to this party, she basically stops looking for her brother. She forgets about it entirely. And there's this whole side plot romance between Ren and Roosevelt. And she literally has an emotional moment at this party deciding whether or not to kiss him. All while her tiny little brother is still actively missing. He could be dead in a ditch. He could be screaming, crying for his sister's help. And all she can think about is kissing a cute boy. Okay. So the bad guy drives Albert all the way home unwillingly, while drunk driving, might I add. Did I mention this movie really wants to be edgy, drunk driving with a kid in the back, hilarious. So Albert tries pulling a prank on the guy and basically sets up a makeshift bomb on his porch.
You're gonna have to come and owe York with something a little more than a burning bag.
But he forgets to run away after knocking on the door, so he gets kidnapped and held hostage. The bad guy demands $400 from Ren over the phone in exchange for her brother. And damn, $400? That's it? Aren't most demands for ransom money like thousands and thousands, if not millions of dollars? $400 is almost insulting to the kid. He's worth more than that. It wouldn't even be worth the enormous legal risk. But regardless, while still being played for laughs, this is now a crime movie. Legitimate kidnapping and false imprisonment of a child is taking place. And she doesn't think to call the police again? She doesn't think, oh, maybe now they'll get involved since it's confirmed my brother was kidnapped. No, she takes off sprinting. She runs all the way there. She doesn't even tell any of her friends where she's going. If she gets knocked, no one will know. Also, her one friend literally had a gun that shoots. Why didn't she bring him for backup? But whatever. So she shows up at Johnny Knoxville's house, and desperate to get her little brother back, she starts to take off her jacket slowly. Turns out she's just offering him her special jacket because it's worth a ton of money. But to be perfectly honest, I thought something else was about to happen. The jacket belonged to her dead father because we're trying to throw in some emotional trauma here, but Johnny Knoxville tries to keep it without returning the little brother as promised. What a jerk and a criminal. Luckily, the convenience store guy conveniently starts attacking at just the right moment, and the little kid gets a nice shot to the nuts while trying to make an escape. Bang, pow, bam. They get the hell out of there, and to be honest, Ren and her little brother finally being reunited is super underwhelming. Like, for being the main goal of the episode, see, I almost called it an episode. It doesn't even feel like a fucking movie. For being the main goal of the plot, you'd think it would be played up as a bigger deal, but it's really not. She even calls her friend Roosevelt that has the crush on her and says like, hey, I wish things had gone differently between us tonight. You're really awesome, never forget that. Oh yeah, and I found Albert, by the way. Like as if it's all about her stupid shitty side plot romance with this guy. And finding the little brother is just a complete afterthought. It's insane. Then, Victoria Justice and her little brother go to cry at their dead dad's grave, which, damn, Tori, not only do you lose this kid for the entirety of Halloween and not really give a fuck about finding him, but you're also gonna ruin what's left of his night with these depressing vibes? He's a little kid. This is supposed to be the most fun, magical night of the goddamn year. Oh yeah, perfect time to go visit some trauma and make him cry instead. And honestly, the whole dead dad plotline feels like something they had to shove into this film to give it some emotional stakes, mostly because it was a theatrical release. But it feels really out of place in this film. It would have been fine to be a goofy, raunchy comedy the entire time that didn't try for any serious moments. They're finally reunited with mom, who drives them all home. And is that kid sitting on the Prindle? Ouch. Also, what? How fucking far did Tori and the little kid walk? If it was dark out when they went to the graveyard, and now with mom driving them home, the sun's up? Bitch got some legs on her. We get some resolution in the plot line of her friend Roosevelt having a crush on her. Yay. And then mom hugs the dead dad's jacket, just to try desperately to shoehorn in one last emotional moment. And that's basically it for fun size. The last scene is just the little kid talking for basically the first time in the whole film, besides him saying like 2 lines at the graveyard, but whatever. And them showing us what the movie could have been like if the kid actually spoke during it is kind of like a spit in the face. Like, haha, this is how funny and cool it could have been, but instead we made him a mute. Fuck you. And then it just ends. And overall, I gotta be honest, this movie feels like the longest hour and 26 minutes of your life. Seriously, this had me checking my watch like a cheap whore that charges by the hour, constantly just wondering, God, how much longer? It didn't really make me laugh. I didn't really care about the plot, and the little brother getting basically kidnapped. I mean, you know nothing bad is gonna actually happen, because it's not that kind of movie. So there's really no suspense there. So it just ends up feeling like a really drawn out, lame-ass nothing burger. The only redeeming factor to this movie, for me at least, is that I love how it takes place on Halloween night. There's not a lot of movies where people aren't getting getting slashed that just happened to take place on Halloween. And I love that this one gives us the Halloween vibes, but without being a slasher movie. And another thing I fucking hated was the egregious product placement. Converse, Old Navy, Fruity Pebbles, Burt's Bees, you name it. If these fuckers could pay Nickelodeon even a cent, Nickelodeon would take that money and put it in the movie. Trash! But enough of me yapping. What do you guys think of Fun Size? Did you watch this one back in the day, or did I just save you 86 precious minutes of your life? Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, and let's kick it. And as always, I gotta give a massive, throbbing, fun-sized shout out to the Patreon and channel members. You guys make my blood pump. You guys keep me alive. Your support means the world to me, and I literally want to lick every single one of your faces. If you're still here, make sure you're subscribed and maybe check out some other videos. You might have fun, you might not. I can't make any promises. All right, happy Halloween, and thanks for listening.